All right, guys, welcome back to the 90% podcast. We're doing a little bit of a supplementary episode today. We're not really doing a main episode. We're here at Tyler's gym pretty early in the morning where I was kind of joined them to do what they call the breakfast club, where kind of the players come in early, get a workout in, before everyone else is up. And we wanted to start like a little bit of a side thing here, with the podcast, where we're calling it a quick bite, where we kind of just take a second, talk about a topic, and just kind of go through it really quickly, something that you can kind of, listen to on your way to work, on your way to school, but still will provide you guys some value. If you've been liking the show, we really appreciate it. If you could give us a follow on all our social media accounts, and if you're liking it, subscribe on YouTube. So today, what we're going to do is kind of talk about a topic that both Tyler and I think we can relate to, is getting older. Tyler, you've had a birthday recently, right?
Yes, my birthday was 2 days ago.
Okay, 2 days ago, and how old are you now?
25 years old.
Okay,
time is flying.
The ripe old age of 25.
Oh yeah.
You feeling like you're getting a lot of wisdom on your belt now?
What's funny is, like, I think when you're young, you think you know everything, and then every year I realize how much more I don't know.
Yeah, it's like every single year you think, wow, what a big idiot I was last year.
Yeah, literally.
With how much I knew.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think everyone, everyone kind of experienced that to some degree. I can think back to when I was in high school, and I just think about like the way I dressed, the way I talked, the way I just thought just the way I thought about the world was.
No, for sure. I think I read something the other day. 50-something% of people graduating high school think they're going to be a millionaire by 25, right? And then you get into the real world and you realize it's a little more difficult than you thought it was when you were 17 or 18.
Were you one of those people?
I was definitely one of those people. I thought I would be a billionaire by 25.
Okay, well, hey, you still got till 30.
There we go.
Because believe it or not, I'm going to be 30 this year.
Holy cow.
Which kind of seems...
Dang, I didn't know you were that much older than me. I mean, you're only 4 years older, but...
It sounds kind of weird, but yeah, no, I think 30 is one of those points where once you hit it, it's like, okay, I can't pretend like I'm like a kid in my 20s anymore. Even though, like, in the inside, I still feel like, like I'm in my early 20s. But I think that's what makes, or how I say it, like, you always hear like age is like
just a number,
or age is a state of mind, and I think that's really true.
No, for sure.
Like, age is a number, but I think what people don't like about aging is the things that change about them when they age. Like, they don't really care about, who cares about the number? Like, no one really cares about, like, oh, I'm 31, 32, I'm 51, 52.
Yeah.
People think, oh, my body changes, I'm old,
I'm
my
breaking
skin.
down, yeah.
But I think, there's things that you can do to kind of, like, combat those changes. Like today. Like,
100%.
we're in here early, we're getting to work out and kind of, making the right changes, not the bad changes of getting older.
I hate to always be the quote guy, but I have a million quotes in my head, and this makes me think of one. There's a gym somewhere that I've been to that has a big quote on the wall that says, you don't stop lifting when you get old. You get old when you stop lifting.
That's right?
Yeah,
it's
so
true.
When you stop taking care of your body is when you get old, not the opposite way around, right? Which obviously, yes, you're going to go up in age, but I know 60 and 70-year-olds that are moving on a daily basis, just very, very active, and it's because they've made it a priority to wake up and move, right? If you wake up and you just sit or you're stagnant, you're not going to feel as good, right? Our bodies are made to move, our blood is made to flow, so we got to keep it moving. Yeah,
that's kind of the part of the world that we live in. I'm sure a lot of people watching this, maybe some parents, they can't be moving like their kids out here all the time. They're stuck behind a desk maybe, or they're doing something like that.
Yeah.
So just kind of maybe over the past few years, with like kind of you aging, getting older, like what do you think are some things that like has changed about you, like in the process of getting older? As say like maybe like compared to like when you started Fast Phenom.
Oh, so compared to when I started Fast Phenom, well,
or just in the past few years.
Yeah. Well, the biggest thing, there's a few things that come to mind. So number one is kind of what we already said about how I'm learning how much I don't know, right? I think when I started this business, Fast Phenom, I think I was coming into it like, all right, I know exactly how I'm going to run a successful gym. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. And then obviously we've had to take some U-turns and veer off path and then get back on path and different things like that. So I think just that, you don't know what you don't know is probably one of them. And just being willing to make mistakes. I think I realize now that the time is going to pass regardless. And so a lot of people hold back from doing things because they're scared to make mistakes. But if 5 years is going to go by, I might as well make mistakes within those 5 years. That way, the time is going to pass regardless. I'm going to end up being 30 years old regardless. I want some mistakes under my belt that I can learn from by the time I'm 30. So it's almost one of those things where life is a game of averages, and if you do something 10 times, you might fail the first 9 and then succeed that 10th time. So I'm just looking to get those first 9 fails out and then get to that success.
Yeah, something to kind of piggyback off of what you said is when I was younger, I felt like if I wasn't doing X, Y, and Z by a certain age, that I'm not making it.
Yeah.
That like I always had like the constant feeling of like time's running out. But now it seems like, you know, I've only been doing like this photography, videography stuff total maybe like 6-7 years, and only seriously maybe the past like 3 years, and I've already made a lot of progress so far. So it seems like, you know, I'm sure there's a lot of like maybe some like basketball players out there that think, oh, if I'm not at a D1 school, that, you know, by the time I'm a sophomore or I don't know, whatever, then none of my aspirations matter. I'm not going to be able to make it. But I think like the older that you get, the realize just more time you have.
Definitely.
And more time to reinvent yourself.
And that's, I just want to stop you right there. That's one of the things that I've learned a lot over the last 5 years is that I used to want the success in a year or in 2 years, right? And I would be thinking very, very short term. The older I get, the more long term I'm thinking. So now I'm not really worried about what happens. I know what's going to happen this year, right? I can kind of predict it. I'm trying to plan out 10 years in advance. And obviously, I'm still living in the moment, but I think just being able to think more long term changes your perspective on things.
Yeah, definitely. And what I'm going to say, just kind of go back to what I said, you know, go back to the idea of not making it by a certain time. You know, when I was younger, I went to school for something completely different than all this, you know, photo, video stuff. You know
what
I went
really?
to school for?
No, what'd you go to school
I got
for?
my degree in political science.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So where I saw in my head was that I was going to be, I don't know, working in Washington D.C., working overseas internationally. You know, I won't go into too much of the details of why I made that switch, but so the short version is like I didn't think I could really make it in that kind of space, and that kind of brought me down. But you know, sometimes when certain doors close in life, other doors open up.
Absolutely.
And so maybe basketball for some of the people out there, maybe it won't work out in terms of like the NBA or, you know, D1 college.
Yep.
But you can.
There's other avenues.
But just as long as, you know, you can do something like, say, get basketball to pay for your college. I mean, college now is getting more expensive than ever. So it's like, that's a pretty big achievement if you could get basketball or any sport to pay for your college. So I think people just need to not be afraid to take those turns in life when life presents them to us.
Absolutely.
You know?
No, and that goes hand in hand with like having faith or trust and believing in your process, right?
Yep.
And I think one of the fun things to me about life is that it's uncertain, right?
Yeah.
Even the people that, myself, I walk around like I'm confident and I'm certain about what's going on, but I have no idea what's going to go on. I think nobody does, right? We saw that with COVID. The whole world got shut down, right? And so you don't know what's going to happen. And so I think it's just about knowing what you want and trusting that sometimes you got to veer off path to get maybe a step closer to where you want to go, right?
Definitely. Here's another quote for the quote man.
Here we go.
You might have heard it, is life happens when you're busy making plans.
I like that.
So you have an idea in your head of what you're going to do,
and
then life happens, and then you have to go left, and then you have to go right, and then who knows where you have to pull a U-turn. You know, you don't, life doesn't go according to plan. And I think that's what people got to be willing to do is roll with that.
Yeah.
You know, because it's like people have this idea in their head of this is exactly what's going to happen, and if that doesn't happen, then what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You got to be willing to kind of to roll with those punches.
Absolutely. And I think that's where a lot of people go wrong, is that they think that it's supposed to go one way and it's not supposed to go any way, right? So then when it doesn't go their way, then they're depressed or anxious or frustrated that it didn't go the way they wanted. So I think just having an understanding of what we're talking about right now, an understanding that it's not certain for anybody, and no matter if you think you're going one way, you can still go that direction, but you might have to veer off. I think we've said that a couple different ways.
Definitely. All right, so we're just going to wrap this up. This was a Breakfast Club quick bite. Something just to get you going today, get you motivated. Tyler, any closing words, anything that you want to put out there to people?
No, just like we talked about. I mean, I think we didn't really have a topic. We just hopped on here, but I like that you brought up getting older or maturing. I think just if you're a kid listening to this or adults, it really doesn't matter what age you're in. Gary Vee says this all the time, that you have more time than you think. So even if you're 50, even if you think you've messed up everything your whole life, you still have another 30 or 40 years, which is a very, very, we haven't even lived 30 years, right?
No.
And so you can completely reinvent yourself and do whatever it is that you want to do. So whether you're 5, 10, 50, or 90, live and have fun and use the rest of your time wisely.
Cool. Quick word to the people who are here locally in Brevard County. Tyler, you're having a spring break camp coming up right here in a few weeks. And what are the dates for that?
March 13th through 17th. We have a group for younger kids from 6 to 10 years old. We'll be at 8 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. And then for 11 to 15-year-olds will be from 9:35 to 11:35 a.m.
Cool, and they can sign up on your website?
Yes, fastphenom.com/camps.
All right, cool. And then just on that note, again, guys, if you've been enjoying the show, if you're on YouTube, please consider subscribing. Hit the like button. It really helps us get this message out to more people. And if you're listening on Spotify, give us a 5-star review. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.